Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a very blown out, intense blue eye because I feel like I don't really play with colors enough on my channel and I want to do a very colorful look for you. So I'm going to be using that same palette that I used in the last video, the Morphe Dare to Create palette, because I did not use very colorful colors from that palette when I used it, and I want to show you guys something that had a lot more going on to it. So, and use a lot more of the colors in that palette because I feel like that's what you should do with a palette that's called Dare to Create. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and I'll show you how to get a really intense blue eye look. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with this NYX eyeshadow base, and this is basically exactly what it is called. It's a base, so you just put it all over your eye. And I'm using the shade Skin Tone, which obviously it's not going to be everyone's skin tone, but for what we need it for, it's going to work. Because I'm going to set it with powder afterwards, and this is honestly just going to help the eyeshadows to apply a lot better and go on smoother, but also help them to last longer throughout the day. Okay, so now that you guys are a little more close and personal, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild palette in Rose in the Air, and I'm going to go in with that top shade there labeled Transition. I'll tap off the excess and I'm just going to run that over my eye. When you put like a base shadow over top of your primer or your concealer, whatever you're using to prime your eyelid that day, it just helps all the other shadows to blend out much nicer because they have that shadow base already set down. Once we're done with that, I'm just going to take the bottom color in the same palette, also labeled Transition, just on a nice fluffy brush. I'm really going to get a good amount of product in there, and I'm going to take this all the way through my crease. And I want this to have the same intensity in the outer corner as it does in the inner corner. So I'm really going to drag that in. I'll dip my brush back in there. I'll start in the inner corner and I'll work my way out. And then once I get it placed down, I'm going to go in little circular motions and really make sure I have it blended out nicely. Once I have that placed down, I'm going to go in with this orange shade right here, and I'm going to place that right in the exact same place as I put that. When I use these Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes, I like to do my eyes first because I do find they have a lot of fallout, but I do like the shadows a lot. They're really pretty, they have really nice pigment, and I kind of find that all of the palettes in this line have a lot of fallout, so I would just suggest going in and doing your eyes first. Okay, once you have those transition colors set down, I'm going to go over the entire lid of my eye using a blue eyeliner. I got this one from Essence. I'm so sorry I don't know the name because it is rubbed right off of the pencil. But I'm just going to take this across my entire lid, but I'm not going to go higher than the crease. As you can see, I didn't go any higher than my crease. Just kept it nice and tight in that lid. And I just made a mistake, and that's why we do our eyes first, but it's okay. I kind of like to draw the line first and then color in. You know, color in the lines. Stuff we all did as a kid, or didn't do. Just depends. And it's okay if the line isn't perfect on the top, because we are going to go over it with eyeshadow, but I just want to lay this down as a base so that the eyeshadow will just pop that much more. And I actually tested this out. I tested it over black, over by itself, and then over the blue eyeliner, and I just found with the blue it popped the most. Now I'm going to dip into the Dare to Create palette. I'm going to go in with this shade right here on a nice flat brush. Really dig in there. I'm actually going to spray my brush with some e.l.f. Mist and Set just because I want the shadow to look very intense. And I always dip into the shadow first and then spray my brush. Whenever I do that technique where I spray my brush first, I kind of have to stamp the shadow in the place I want it, and then later I'll go in and I'll use a matte shadow or something to help blend it out. But in order to get the product placed down, I definitely need to stamp my brush. And then I'll wait for it to dry before I go and try to blend it out, because if I try to blend it out now, it just doesn't move. Oh my god. Just had my spray and I lost it. Once I have that down, I'm going to go into this dark matte shade right here. It's dark matte blue. It's right in the center there. On a pointed brush. And I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to put this in my crease, but I'm going to keep it nice and low. And then I'll just wing it out a little bit. So. Take your time on this part and just do little wiggly motions back and forth. Bring this too high and then it just look like you have like intense crazy blue eyes. Like, I know it is intense and it's blue, but we just really want to take your time and not bring that too high, or else it's just gonna look really messy really fast. So this look is one of those looks that it's gonna take a little bit longer before you can really see it getting put together. It's gonna have a stage where it's gonna look pretty messy, but don't worry, like, we will, by the time it's done, it's going to look great. So I have that laid down. I'm going to go back in with that orange shade that we used in the Wet n Wild palette. Actually, yeah. And that second transition shade, the one on the bottom that's darker. Tap off my brush. And working on my crease again, I'm going to go right where that orange meets the blue, and then I'm going to really blend it out. I'm going to go back into that Dare to Create palette. I'm going to take this burnt orange shade right here. I'm going to also add that to the crease to just help, again, blend all the shades out. Oh yes. This added like just a little extra warmth. That's going to help really blend everything out, make it look beautiful and seamless. Because we did all of that blending, we kind of lost some of that intensity of the blue shadow on our lid, so I'm just going to go right back over it and intensify it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just clean up the eyes a bit. Using a makeup wipe, I'm just going to wrap it around my finger so I can get a nice sharp edge. And just following the base of my lower lash line, just bring it up towards the tail of my brow. Just really clean that up. So lastly, I just want to add like a pop to the center of the eyes. I don't know why I said it like that. Pop, I said it's so crazy. But I want to add a pop to the center of the eyes, so I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I'm not going to wet my brush for this one because this one is really intense. I'm just going to put that right in the center of the lid. Okay, so we're done with the eyes for now, so we're going to move on to the rest of the face. And I'm going to start by taking my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm going to focus that right in the center of my face, like my nose and my cheeks, where any place where I feel like I have pores. Just help smooth out the skin there. And then I'm going to go in with my Revlon Long Lasting Finishing Primer, and then I'm going to use that on the rest of my face. This primer does reflect a lot of purple in it, which looks a little crazy, but once you put your foundation on, it just glows from underneath of your foundation. And then for foundation today, I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation, and I'm going to mix that with the Covergirl Vitalist Foundation. I'm only adding this in because I need something that has a little more warmth in it than this one, because this one's a little more neutral. So I'll just take a pump on the back of my hand, a pump and a half. And then I'll go in with a pump of that. The LA Girl Pro Matte is a very matte foundation. And I kind of want to test out more matte foundations. I feel like I always used to avoid them, but now I kind of want to try them out. I feel like when you use a matte foundation, it makes your skin look very flawless. I still like the dewiness and all of that, but I feel like I can add that in by using my primer and setting spray and highlight. But for my foundation, I kind of want to try more matte, see if I like how that looks. What was I saying? Anytime I do like intense eye looks like this, I always want a very full coverage base because I feel like it just needs it. I just feel like it needs it. Okay, so now we can do brows, and like brows are definitely going to help with this look because they look a little crazy right now. And once they're done, it's going to look a lot more put together. But you guys see me do my brows many a time, so with the power of editing, I'm going to come back and I'm going to look like brows done. I also did mascara while I was gone. This look you can totally do false lashes and it'll look beautiful. I just want to do mascara. I just like doing mascara. But anyways, so now that our brows and our lashes are done, we can move on to the rest of the face. We already have our foundation on. I'm going to go in with some concealer. I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C13. And I'm going to use a lot of concealer today. I'm going to use a lot. Oh my gosh. And down my nose. If you ever find your brows are a little too bold, whenever you're doing your foundation or concealer, you can just run over the very front of your brows a little bit, and that will help make them look a little more natural, not so like, huh. I'm just going to go ahead and set the concealer with a little bit of Laura Mercier translucent powder. This not only will help it last longer throughout the day, it's going to help when you're blending out those lower lash eyeshadows. There we go, lower lash eyeshadows. I'll just go ahead and set any place I put concealer. My face is pretty matte today, so I'm not going to set my whole face. I'm going to just go ahead and finish off the rest of the lash line while we're here. So I'm going to go in with that same eyeliner we used as the base for our lid. I'm going to put that on the bottom inner waterline. I'm just going to take any black eyeshadow on a flat definer brush and go really, really tight to that lash line. And then with the pencil brush, I'll just dip right back in to this nice transition shade that we used earlier and just a tad of that orange shade and just blend it all out. I'm actually really liking this eye look. It's so intense. I never do like these bold eye looks, so it's definitely different for me. I'm going to move on and start contouring my face. I'm just going to take the Morphe bronzer in Showmance Brontour. Oh, put on the wrong brush. Lovely. It's okay, I'm planning on washing my brushes today anyways. So, on this larger pointed brush, I'm just going to take that from my ear towards the corner of my mouth. Taking that along the perimeter of my face. I was originally going to bronze today, but then after seeing this eye look, how it turned out, I was like, I want to contour. I'm just going to go right ahead with that same sponge on the flat side, taking a little bit of that translucent powder to clean it up. Just go straight in the contour and make a straight line, and then blend it down. And the brush that I normally would use to wipe it away, I just dirtied it, so I'm just going to take this big fluffy brush and just wipe away that excess powder. Okay, we're almost done, I swear. I'm going to go right ahead and take my e.l.f. blush palette in dark, and I'm going to take this shade, this pinky shade right here, and this orangey shade, and I'm going to mix them together. These are pretty pigmented, so go ahead and just tap off your brush before applying it. I always like to bring my blush back towards my ears. Instead, I'm going to take this Colourpop matte lipstick in Henneyways. It's like this nice dark chocolatey brown. And we're going to go in with this instead, and hopefully we like the look more with it. So, ooh, that was dark. Okay, let's see. Finish off the look. I'm just going to take my Pixi highlight in Cafe con Dulce palette. And take a little bit of this top shade right here. I'm going to overly highlight today because I really want to focus me on the eyes and the lips apparently too, because they're both really bold. But I kind of think they look good together. I feel like a lot of times we always try to opt either for like a nude lip with like a bold eye, or a bold eye with a nude eye with a bold lip. But you can do both, and I feel like it still can look good. But anyways, that completes the look today. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Please make sure to hit that thumbs up button below and the subscribe button also below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!